As young people, we need to understand that having access to sexual reproductive health and rights is good for our growth. I believe that a lot of us do not have access to them because of what society would think about us or society would say. A lot of us end up by having unsafe sex, getting STIs, getting pregnant, and having other complicated consequences. Today, we'll be looking at some of the challenges we face as young people and how we think that our parents or other adults should understand that in a better perspective. I'll be speaking with young people from NORSAC here in Tamale who will be delving into this topic to help us understand some of the issues they have come across and why we all think, suggest, appeal, and campaign that these services should be accessible and available for young people. My name is Martha Anabila. Let's go for a break. When we are back, we delve straight into the discussion. Stay tuned. Welcome back. I'll be speaking with two amazing young women. Hajara Baba Dua, she is the project assistant at NORSAC, and Aisha Mohammed, she's an officer at Mary Stopes International and also a member of Litutu Girls Advisory Council. Okay, and so they have been working in this area, speaking to young people, helping a lot of the vulnerable people out there to make major decisions on their sexuality. Thank you very much for joining me, ladies. It's going to be a ladies talk and ladies conversation, so let's give it to them. Yeah, so let me start with you, Hajara. What are some of the challenges that you have seen on the field working with young people regards to their sexuality?
Okay, I'm so delighted to be on this program today. And some of the challenges I find young people facing has to do with peer pressure, has to do with ignorance, has to do with lack of information concerning their sexuality, concerning their lifestyle, concerning their aspirations, and any other thing they want to do in life.
Aisha.
It's an honor and a privilege, I must say, to be on this show. Because at the end of the day, it's not just a show, but that information out that will have an impact on young people out there and then on us because we also learn. Once again, I introduce myself. My name is Aisha Mohammed, the Client Activation Officer at Marisco International Ghana, a student and also a member of the Girls Advisory Board for Literature.
Okay.
So, talking about the challenges, from my end, I think there are a lot of challenges. But first, let's look at who an adolescent is. So, when we say an adolescent, it's basically someone between the ages of 15 to 35, and that is the UN standard. And since we are in Ghana, we side with that. So, anybody between the ages of 15 to 35 is an adolescent. And when we say adolescence, is a transition from childhood to adulthood, and that is where the challenges we are talking about comes in. So coming in means we will have young people or have these changes in young people that they will not understand. So not understanding what guidance do they need, who do they need to talk to, how do they go about it, so that at the end of the day, they are able to tell that yes, this is me and this is normal for me. So basically, I would say it's a process. It comes from different angles. So the society has an impact on them, schools have impact on them, even workplaces, because now we have young people who are youth activists. We try to see how we put young people in the front line to advocate for development in their society and communities. All these places, they find challenges.
Okay, so in working with young people in that regard, what can you see are some of the common things you see?
Okay, so some of the common things I would say is that one is lack of confidentiality. Two, young people see their peers as counselors. Maybe first we used to have first we didn't have adolescent friendly helpfulness, but now I'm sure because other organizations and institutions, including this show, has realized that we need to have space for young people to be able to talk about themselves. It's why Now, if you go to the public sector, we have adolescent friendly health corners. So basically, first it was a challenge, and I'm using myself as an experience. And then another thing is parental guidance. That's another challenge. Young people don't get the guidance they need from their parents. Maybe as we go on, we delve more into it. Another thing I would say is that young people love to talk to professionals. Okay, they love to talk to professionals. They think everybody they can talk to, but then the information they get there might be wrong. And then myths and misconceptions. That's another huge or major challenge young people face. The myths are out there. So if the guidance don't come, if they don't talk to professionals, if there's no confidentiality, then you see that we have a lot of negative social vices or other things like STIs, HIV, mention them, gonorrhea, syphilis, those ones, they are common for young people to get, especially STIs.
Hajara, what are some of the things that you see that we are doing and you're like, oh, this is going to lead us in trouble?
Okay, so as adolescents, and also as Aisha already mentioned about what adolescents are, I feel like adolescence is not just limited to people between the ages of 13 to 19 or 13 to 20 years. I feel like adolescence goes more than that, because you see someone who is between these ages, and the person knows about his or her sexuality, the person knows how he or she is going to go about his or her lifestyle. So I feel like it's a very complicated topic looking at it. When we talk about adolescence, it goes beyond the age, it goes beyond, yes, I think we just say it's a transition from childhood to adulthood. So speaking on this basis, I would say there are a lot of challenges people face, or people within the adolescent ages faces. Some of them include peer pressure, some of them include drug abuse, some of them include ignorance towards their lifestyle, ignorance towards like everything they do in life. They don't seek for information from the right sources. They don't even care about it. That is what I say, ignorance. Because the more you care about it and you know the consequences that comes with it, you'll be able to tell like, this is what I need to work on, this is how I need to do things, I need to go to these particular people to seek for information, and that's how I'm going to get through it. So I feel like these are some of the main issues adolescents are facing, and these are some of the things we should address urgently.
Aisha, what do you think our parents and community elders should do more in making sure that these services are accessible in the right way?
Alright, so I'll start with the parents. So taking myself for example, when I had my first menses, though I started advocacy or youth activism quite long, since my class 6, so I was exposed to some of these things. But then when I had my menses, my first menses, we went to play football. Then when we came back, I saw blood in my pants, and I told my mom I had my menses. The next thing she said was, permit me to say it in the local dialect, "Apadila paama," meaning I'm now a grown woman. So I should be careful. I shouldn't let any guy touch me.
That word touch you, is it?
Don't let any guy touch you, because if a guy touches you, you get pregnant. So I think how we communicate as parents is one thing we need to look at. So these young people are already out there. School, for instance, exposes us a lot already. We have something like reproductive health in our textbooks. So we already know it. And that's one interesting topic everybody wants to pay attention to, even if the class is boring. That's one thing everybody wants to. So how we communicate to our children, I thought my mom could have just told me that there's something like ovulation when you menstruate. And when you get to that period, any possible, guide me to know when my ovulation will come and not. But not all parents will be able to do that, fine. But just let me know that there's something like intimacy or sex that if I have with a man, I'll get pregnant. But touch means, so for my sport, when I went to school, I wanted to sit with my female friends instead of male. Because the thinking was that, what if this person sits by me and I get pregnant? And I don't want to disappoint that mother who told me that I shouldn't let anybody touch me. So one is communication. And that is just the major thing. Let's give our children the information as parents. They need it. Because as they are growing, if you don't guide or take care of your child, outsiders will do that for you. So they'll get the information outside, and then it will affect you, the mother. So you don't give the child the information and somebody outside says, when your mother said touch, it's your skin, okay? But don't worry, let this man sleep with you. A bit touching and sleeping with you or having sex with you is not the same. What happens? This child will come with unwanted pregnancy or some infections that you wouldn't be able to treat or cure. Because one thing about infections is that once you have it, you need to keep treating. Though it might go, but you need to keep on keeping before you be able to get them. So that's on the part of the parents. So with the elders and the community, what I also say is that let's be each other's keepers. Okay. Now it's no more common. Someone will tell you, I don't want to tell Martha's daughter that she's doing this, or I don't want to guide Martha's daughter because Martha will insult me or Martha will say I should mind my business. But I think being each other keepers is very important. We have a lot of young people who are wayward because now nobody can tell another do this and don't do this. So let's try to be each other's keepers. Because I might get the information and you might get it rather, and your neighbor will not get it. So if you are each other's keeper, you can also give that information to that neighbor to be able to tell that this is what we can do, so that at the end of the day, we all contribute to the development of this society we are in and as individuals.
Hajara, what should the community or our parents do in making sure that these services are not seen as weird?
Okay, so the first thing is we need to understand what this means to our children. We need to understand what it means to their future, how it affects them, how it affects us, and at the end of the day, how it affects the entire community. So if parents know that in this era of ours, I mean, sexual information is everywhere, sexual activities is everywhere, and our children or our less adolescent children can easily get access to everything, why then are we preventing them from having education on sexual and reproductive health rights? This is something we cannot do away with anymore. It is everywhere. This is not the olden days that we used to say, okay, children don't engage in sexual activities, children just go to school, graduate, and like get married and all. Right now, sexual and reproductive health rights are everywhere, and everyone is aware of it. So this is the first thing our parents should know. That is what to be able to guide them, to allow their children to be exposed and learn very well, not be misinterpreted, and learn about these things very well.
You're talking about the parents. Do you think that some of the structures in our public institutions are the cause? You go to schools and you're not allowed to see or give some kind of information or service. You can't go to even a senior high school and give a condom. You can't go and if you mention police and Guardiana, some of the authority to come and tell you that don't say this. It's like they're even trying to even coach you on how to give the education. Do you think that these structures is in a way affecting the way the information should go?
Yes, very yes. Like I said, you go to a school to have a reproductive health talk, and then you are limited as to what to say. But the unfortunate thing is that those people you are coaching to talk to even know better than you, the individual. Maybe you have that tag that you are a peer educator, or maybe a service provider, or maybe an officer who has knowledge in SRHR that you are going to talk to them. But the conversation with them gets deeper. You realize that they even know more than you know. So for me, I think one, we have weak institutions. That's one thing I would say. Like I was saying first, you realize that first we didn't have anything like adolescent reproductive health corner, where young people could go and talk about themselves. So it's noise from non-governmental organizations and even some of the young people, the challenges that come or the consequences we face after getting involved in those things are why we have those friendly health corners. And I must say that now the Ghana Health Service and some of the reproductive health organizations we have, including Maristo's International, PPAG and all that, try to see how they make friendly health corners for these young people where they can come and talk about themselves. So I believe we need to have strong institutions. Once we have strong institutions, we are able to understand each other and know that these young people need this information. I repeat, peers are not counselors. They get this information from their peers, and at the end of the day, they end up doing the wrong things. So from my end, I think we need to have strong institutions. Now, I would say it's better than first. And then also chipping in, realize that when we take religion, apart from the institutions we are talking about, they will tell you that as a Muslim, a child is, after a child's first menses, the next menses should be in the father's house. You understand? Yes.
The husband's house.
Yes. If you are in your father's house, like I'm in my father's house now. So let's say if I have the time I had my first menses, my second menses should have been in my husband's house and not my father's house. Please, let's be mindful when it comes to religion and reproductive health. So if you look at first, before a woman could menstruate, it could be 18 and above, the olden days. So it's very normal. Yes. So it will be very normal if you say the person's second menses, the person should be in the father's house. But imagine now that the food we eat, the things we even do, influence how we menstruate. Somebody like 30 years and even 10
Yeah.
menstruate. So are you saying if this young person menstruates in her father's house for the first time, you should send that, not even a teenager, that person to, or that girl to the husband, to a husband's house? Like, it doesn't make sense. So for me, I think we need to have strong institutions. That's the only way we are able to go far together.
Hajara, anything to add to that? The institutions and the structures.
What I want to add to this is like very important is the adolescent themselves. Like they say, you can force a horse to the river, but you cannot force it to drink the water. So the community can do their part, our parents can do their part, the institutions can do their part, but it is left upon the adolescent himself or herself to know her body, to know what is required of him or her to be able to like fit into the society, to be able to live healthily with the sexual, knowing about his or her sexual and reproductive health and rights. So my main information goes to the adolescents themselves. They should know their self, they should be aware of their environment, and they should know what they want to do. Our best advice we are giving out is abstinence, but if you cannot abstain, we also preach to these organizations and communities and institutions to provide adolescents with both information. When you abstain, this is what's happening. You are protected from sexual and reproductive. You are protected from sexually transmitted diseases, and you are protected from pregnancy as well. But if you cannot abstain, you are these are ways you'll be able to protect yourself from either sexual transmitted diseases or pregnancy and all the negative effects associated with sexual activities here. So I think that is my best advice I can give out to adolescents.
Abstinence, abstinence. We've spoken about abstinence a lot of times, but sometimes it's some way to talk about it when you know that as much as we wish that young people abstain, we cannot hide the fact that most of them are not
Some are sexually
abstaining,
active.
very sexually active. And what do we do with them? We'll be back after this break. Welcome back. It's important that as we are watching this episode, we make it as a conscious effort for especially parents to help guide their children. I remember there was a time that a parent invited me into their home to have a session with their adolescent kids, and it was so nice. That was my first time. So a father just said, okay, I just think that my kids are of age to not like necessarily attending a conference or a seminar, but just to come to the house, meet my five girls, talk to them. What are the things that you think that they should learn about reproductive health, menstruation, etc. So I think that as parents, you can adopt that. Once a while, call a health person to come to the house and talk to your kids on some of the things that they need to know about. Let's look at the parents. Do you think that they are afraid to give that information, or they don't know? Hajara.
I feel like a lot of our parents, especially here in the north, are, let me say, not educated in a way. It's just like a social construct that they have about this sexual and reproductive health and rights. When they hear sexual and reproductive health and rights, they hear sexual
Intercourse.
yes,
Yeah.
they hear what's it called, pregnancy. They hear my child is dropping out of school, like you are trying to turn my child into a bad one. Yes, that is what they hear. So I feel like that is what they have at the back of their mind, that is influencing all these decisions they make for their children that they are not even aware of.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's because it's out of ignorance, it's out of illiteracy. Yes.
Aisha, what is
Okay,
lacking
so
from our parents?
from my end, I won't say it's ignorance or illiteracy, because this is someone who has gone through all what you've gone through. Maybe their fear is that they don't want to give the information that might lead that young person wayward. For me, I think it's fear. Because you realize that me, for instance, when I start talking about some of these things in the house, my mom will say, Aisha, why are you doing this to this young people? Then I'll tell my mom that she should wait. I'll secretly record what they'll be saying and come and play to her to know that these people even know more than I do. So for me, it's fear. Okay? They have it. Whether educated or not, you menstruate. When you were menstruating, what do you go through? My grandmother is still alive. She told me that, Aisha, when I told her I have cramp, Instead of her to give me the information like, we know, take either painkiller, take use bottle of warm water or maybe towel or something just to keep. She'll tell you that no, leave it. When I was young, I used to feel or pass through the same thing. But then you have to bear it. That's the only way you'll be able to tell if you can give birth or not. Are you serious? So they have the information. They even have ways you can manage it and all that. But they are just scared. Okay, so later when it became serious or she felt like the cramp was too much, she told me that I should get hot water with towel and put it on my arm. She didn't go to school. She has never been to class one, but she had that information. So for me, I think it's fear. It's fear that, hey, let me not give this child this
So now I'm
information. She go
thinking,
out and
is
do
it that they had that information and they went wayward? Now they don't want to give us or
that's
what?
why I say it's fear.
Yes.
It's fear. The
Uh-huh.
fear, it comes a lot, like you said, that's another angle. Even though they are afraid that they'll give it to that child, but maybe they've gone through something through that information they got also from another person that they might not want to give to you, so that you also go through that same way. And let's remember, once we talk about some of these things, let's not bring in the olden days. I remember I was talking to some senior high schools recently, that was just last week, about menstruation. And then I spoke about how they should always constantly check up. Some have the maximum a woman can menstruate is 7 and the minimum is 5. So if you have 4, 3, it could be that you have infections or hormonal imbalance. Even if you don't have, check. And the woman kept saying, no, it's normal. Some can menstruate for 3 and 4. The olden days is not the same. This is an old woman. It's not the same. Maybe during your time, even if your menses come in June and doesn't come in July, it means in August it will come. But now, if you don't check it up, it might be something else you don't know, especially for the food we eat, the activities we do day in, day out. She even went ahead and said some don't menstruate, that they menstruate through their
Their
fingers,
palms or
or is it palms,
yes.
thank you, palms,
I
and
don't
all
know
that.
why people have
Good.
that thing.
It's fine to give them this information, but just let them know that they need constant, especially senior high school students. They don't use the washrooms alone. And once you don't menstruate, your infertility increases. Your infertility rate is very high. So let's encourage that these young people take good care of themselves. How do they? Whether they are or whether it's the right way or not, let them visit the hospital, clinics, or other reproductive health organizations we have. Ask questions, let them get guidance from professionals. That's the only way they grow better. Or they even gives them the opportunity to know that if I go here, I'll get this information I need, even if I don't talk to my mother. But once you keep limiting them to your olden days or keep limiting them to things you have been through, then it's more or less like you are using your past or your experience to guide them, and that is unfair because everybody in the path they will take, even though we give them the information, but they have the route or the path they will take to their success. We have motivations, all right, fine. But then I don't think my motivation will be what will make matter better. No. Matter, even though can take that, but then there's a different way matter we use to get to their destination. So for me, I think it's clear.
And I think that when people just hear sexual reproductive health,
Sex comes to my head.
and sometimes I remember when those issues came up about the CSC curriculum. Yeah, I looked at it and I didn't see sex inside that thing because most of them were age appropriate content. I don't know whether I actually saw the right
Document.
document, but with what they sent me when I asked, even for class 4 and class 5, we see personal hygiene, how to dress, and how to shave. We see all of those things in. And I think even for sex, it's like junior high school 3 or even senior high school that even sex even came in. But I don't know why we have the notion
And
that
that is very fine because we have
Yes.
young people in the JSS who
Oh.
are writing BC with pregnancies.
even in primary,
They are
who are having
writing
sex,
with
and there are some teachers who are dating
Yes,
their
yes.
students. Last week, after airing the reflection show, the episode was on understanding relationships, and after that, I think on Saturday, the repeat. I was so tired. I just wanted to go to bed, and this number kept calling me, and it was a 19-year-old girl who is in her final year in senior high school, who is dating her teacher. And you can imagine all those issues going on. So at a point, like, please speak louder. I was like, please, can you hear me? So at a point, then she was like, oh, about to cry. As at that time, the reflection show ends at 9:30. So, and she was calling me like, so let's say, I think around 9:04. So let's say almost 10. She was hiding to talk to me. She'd be like, madam, I'll call you back. I'm like, she'll call again. And her voice is low. Madam, I'll call you back. And then I asked her why. So me, in fact, I thought that she was in the dormitory. That's maybe the senior house mistress was coming. She was in her boyfriend's house, her English teacher in the school. Like, you can imagine, according to her, she's saying that even the teachers and the students of the school are aware that they have a relationship. So the teacher asked her to come to his house that weekend. So for weekend, she left campus and she was in the house of her teacher, her boyfriend.
So now the question is that the parents know about
The
this.
parents don't know.
So you know what? The truth is that these things happen. Anytime I want to talk about reproductive health, I say it. The reality is it happens.
Yes,
But people
that's
want to
why I
say
brought
that,
the story.
okay, let's all be humans. Let's pretend that this is, or let's assume that is. But the reality is there are a lot of things happening. There are a lot of things happening.
And at a point, I was checking. So luckily, she called on the official number. So I was checking with a friend of mine, a guy, on my personal number, and I told him that how will he handle the situation, because I was confused. And apparently, the teacher is cheating on her with other girls. She sees the messages. He insults her. In fact, I didn't ask for physical abuse, but with everything that she said, she is being abused in that relationship.
I feel like at this point she is tense in the relationship. Like
She was
forced
crying.
to
So
go
the
in.
point was like, so I thought maybe she had catarrh. So she was crying. I was like, are you crying? And she said,
But like,
yes,
why
madam.
can't she leave though?
She can't leave because everybody in the school knows, and the teacher can destroy her, because that is the he enters a class to teach you. So I said, madam, you are in your final
And you can
year,
change school.
you are finishing school, no, in September.
Wow.
Just play. So I was like, if you are talking to him 4 times a day, make it 2 or 3 times, like gradually, and use the WhatsApp as an excuse. As soon as you leave that town and come back to wherever that you're supposed to come to, you cut
That's
communications with him.
But then I feel like the fact that he's her teacher, and because of that she can't stop people, the teacher might spoil her all around.
I think there's a lot of abuse in it. You know,
Yeah, that's
she
what-
said that sometimes, even when she says it's over, she kind of in a way ends up going to beg and say that let's get back into the relationship.
Yes, what she has fear in her, and this is where our security services should come in. Like
She can't report it. The teachers like you see, that's what she's saying. There are things happening that you can't report because
But now she didn't even say everything that is happening to my
yes,
sister.
yes, because I
So,
think that the 4th time she was like, she will call me back, and she hasn't called. Now, if there is a guy in the school or in my class who is abusing me, I can go and report to my teacher. Now,
It's
a
that
teacher is
teacher
dating me.
Who
And
are you
everybody
reporting
on
to?
the camp, even when I was in senior high school, we had those. There were some students in our class and our seniors. We knew that they were dating teachers, and it was like a story.
Very normal.
Yes, it was like
And some even feel proud having
Yes.
teachers as their boyfriends.
so. Now, if you are being abused, the next teacher you are going to report to is a friend of your
yeah, I
boyfriend
think
teacher.
like she should take it outside the school content. Yes, she can report it to the policemen, to the security services.
So from my
because right
end, I
now-
think I side with Martha. Because
Just
what they are
leave.
saying, they are talking professionality.
Yeah.
When you are in the shoes, okay. This is where I'm taught that sometimes put yourself in people's shoes. That's the only way you're able to understand them. She should just find a way. Like she said, if it's 4, she can make it 2 or 3.
Gradually,
Just
say, oh,
try
you're writing
in
what, so you
September.
need time.
Then you go.
And because she's in her
right now
final
she has
year.
not said everything, and who knows? Maybe if she even does that, she might be denied to write what you and
Yes.
I cannot tell. Who knows if she does that? This person can send her to juju or something.
Yes.
Who knows if she? So she should just play her class role, like you said. If you are done for good. Besides, he's cheating with others, so you just continue with the others, and you are good.
I feel
So
like at the end of the day, a lot of girls are going to be affected. This one,
So a lot of girls are going to be affected. That's true. But that's because our structures in the school. Because
Agree.
if I am
but
aware
she's even saying teachers
that
are aware.
let's say I'm a teacher and I'm aware that a student is dating a teacher, I will try by counseling her to break that relationship.
or they should even talk to the teacher himself.
What are the school counselors doing?
What even led to that? What started that relationship?
They
You
began
don't-
dating at SS1.
That's what I'm saying. So what actually influenced that dating?
A
To
lot
even
of
get to
things.
this good.
And
so
he's
there's a lot
sleeping
with
with
them
her.
for 3 years now. There's a lot you and I cannot.
Maybe she has a big body because maybe when I was in SS, I was very smallish, so I don't even think that any teacher will even come and say, "Oh, Martha, I like you," or that kind
And
of.
that's another thing we are talking. One challenge young people facing. We have some. They are very young, but then when you see them physically or stature-wise, they are
They are
like
very. Oh, I
women or
know
something,
people
yeah.
who are 19, 20,
And
21.
when you see
You
them,
think they are my
they'll
mothers.
back
No,
you.
I go to places with them
but I
like,
feel
oh,
like
yeah.
that's not really the main cause. Some people are small and they are so into this. Like when I was in my school, I knew people who had smallish bodies, but they still had teachers' boyfriends. So I feel like it depends on the girl if she wants
No,
to.
but we are saying
Sometimes,
that there is a higher chance
okay, when she
of
has a
that
bigger
than
body,
somebody who
okay,
has a
yes.
smaller body. Yes. So right now, let me come back to you. In your words, you are talking about report. How have you seen people report situations and how has it been dealt with?
Yeah, it hasn't been dealt with well, like as it is supposed to be. That's what I'm saying. Our security services are so weak, and that is our root problem. Because we cannot land on the fact that okay, if she reports it, it's going to go wasted. It means someone is not doing their job somewhere, and that is what we should be solving right now.
The only reason why I may be able to get half justice if I am raped is probably two things. If I'm financially stable or I have human like networks. So if I can pick up my phone and call the police commander, I can pick up my phone and call. Then he can even try to start the justice from that top.
And the sad thing is, those who are facing these things, those who are not facing this, they have the
Yes,
connection.
yes.
Those who are
Stop
facing
facing
it
it.
don't have the connection.
And now, if you are raped and you are going to the hospital, they'll ask you to pay 300 to this for a report.
You go to the hospital now. Let me be coming. My uncle slapped me and I said I won't leave this man because I've gotten exposure. I went to the hospital. They made me take some pictures. I went to the hospital for the form and everything, and they told me I have to pay that $300 to this.
What?
Saying yes to get that report. Then I'm like, so what if I don't have it? What happens? So it means I can't get that justice I need. And not just that alone. Even when you send it, they go and come. You even come down. And one thing, once you are angry, if justice is not taken, definitely you keep changing your mind. Okay, so I won't waste my time. Let me stop this thing. You see, so people end up going scot free. That is why I said earlier that we have institutions, but they are very weak. Whether law, whether traditional, we have weak institutions, especially in Ghana. And once the institutions are not strong, or we don't have strong structures, there's no way we can achieve anything when it comes to justice. From my end,
Justice.
yes,
We are talking about equity,
Yes.
talking about equality, talking about justice. Unfortunately, I think since for like a long time I keep hearing some of these things, but it's like we are still at the same point when it comes to justice.
It's getting worse.
Yes, it is. Which I felt that because we have more exposure now, things should have been better, but they are not.
they are not because everybody is for himself, him or herself. We have failed to work collectively as individuals, as organizations, and as institutions. Someone asked the question that we have a lot of non-governmental organizations who are doing amazing things or amazingly well when it comes to their core values, when it comes to their mission and their vision. But then we still don't see change. Drug abuse, for instance. Imagine Accra that a lot of people from the north doing rural urban migration has less number when it comes to drugs than even northern region. You see that? So I'm just trying to say that we need to work collectively. So let's say you are doing something injustice, I'm doing something injustice. We don't need to put our organizations together to work collectively. But when it comes to issue, let's see how we partner. Though we do that, but how far does it go? And so you see every young person who gets this motivation or who gets to understand a little bit about development want to have an organization. But
I
then
say
we
that
tend not
a lot.
to, yes, but we tend
And
not
there are
to
people
solve any
that
problem.
you even want to go and partner with, and they're like, no, this is my event. I'm like, well, I have a conference, I have like 5, 10 partners on it because everybody's bringing something different. Some are bringing technical support, some are bringing resources, some are bringing knowledge. Some people just come and be speakers that you practically have
When
to
we
go.
learn to partner and work collectively, I'm sure we'll go far. And that even brings us to the saying that if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go together. So going together means let's do more of collaboration. Oh, Martha Inspires Foundation. Oh, Aisha Foundation. Martha is doing women empowerment. How do I support Martha in her empowerment so that at the end of the day I can say Martha's achievement is my achievement because it's collaboration of, and that even makes sense because
It's
if
like
Martha
there's
is
some
doing
rivalry.
things
I
with-
don't know.
yes,
You know, I was telling someone that it's this year,
yes.
2022, that my eyes open on certain things. You hear people say some comments where I'm like, Charlie, I've gone to people to partner with them, they have turned me down because they feel that they can do it better. I've gone to people to do certain things with them and they feel like I'm a younger organization or you are a girl. I've gone to people to partner with them, they will come on board, but it's like the energy and the resources they bring on board is that they see it to be a younger organization. But thankfully, over the years, you know, people will not value on the same spot. So identify the organizations that value you and work with them more. And that is what is going to increase your visibility, increase your impact, and all of that. And I remember there was a time I called a friend, and I didn't have my conference in October before. It was last year, and hopefully this year we'll do it in August. So I saw that this person had come up with a poster, and it was like it was going to have a Tamale Youth Summit and like some events, about two or three of them. And I was like, okay, I called them like, okay, this year I want to have my event, but I want to know the dates you are setting, because yours already out, that's coming soon. Mine is not out yet, so that I don't set it on the same day. The person kept tossing me, and we are so good.
It's just the data.
Yes, so that even if you are doing not even if it's the month, tell me I'm doing it in September, so that I don't put my own in September. I can put mine in August or even something
Have the
before.
same target group.
Exactly. Then the person kept doing that. So for about 3 months, I kept following, and the way, and me, I hate to be demeaned. So I just cut the person off, and I did my event in August, and that was it. And I don't know. Later on, they was like, I want to do the event before August, but they postponed it to September and October, and I don't know what happened to the event again. I've seen people have the same event, like different events, clashing on the same day, but with the same target, like a target of young people to reach.
What is this?
Yeah, so if you want to do something, unless they are different communities, or you want to reach different people. So if maybe you want to reach, let's say, somebody in Tamale, you can do that in Marriage Stokes, you can do that in Tamale. Then Norsak, you do it at a different place. So I think that, or maybe it can even be in Tamale. When I began the reading clinic, there was someone who was doing the reading clinic at Regional Library. It was in a cultural center, and I began the reading clinic at Banyamni. These are very far different places, still the same target. But I can't also go to cultural center and start a reading clinic. And that is what we are doing now.
And that is what I was talking about. So realize that if the person from cultural center has an event, Martha will partner to bring people from Benin. So at the end of the day,
Yes.
they both have achieved something.
Yes.
I don't know if you understand.
Because they will never be able
Yes.
to get the same content in every event.
Yes.
But we can partner and get more
Yes.
people to come for the event.
And the visibility can, the impact can. But in this case, I don't know. When it comes to this place, like I said, everybody wants to say, I did this. I am this, I am doing this. But it's not everybody who should be a leader. There are some people, they are not in any leadership front, but they have all the qualities of a leader. They can give you all the support you need to be there. Nobody wants to be at that point. Everybody wants to be seen at the front line, but will end up failing. You have the qualities, you can do better. But once you
These
don't
are all
understand-
mistakes we make as young people growing up.
Once you don't identify that and tell that this is what support I can give to make this better. So for myself, I made up my mind I was never going to go for any leadership position, but I'm available. Anytime you think I can do this for you, I'll avail myself and do it for you. That's the only way we grow. But if I also want to say that, okay, so because people know me in the youth space, oh, I've been doing this and I've been doing that, so I'm going to come up with an NGO, then it means I'm doing nothing.
Yeah,
At the end of
it's
the
just
day,
the
the
name
other
and
ones
the
will
brand.
use me and myself again. You understand? Why not I support them with what I have? So at the end of the day, when this person is achieving, I am also achieving because, oh, this person also contributed to make this success. I think that will help us go along.
And you see some people that I remember before I began, some people were having their foundation and their end. You go to them and we're like, no, this one there, you will get back to your partnership. Today they are nowhere to be found.
That's it.
Their foundations are nowhere to be found. This thing is passionate. You don't know what is going on. Let's
Especially
go
if you
for
don't have partners or resources.
yes. Let's go for a break. We'll be right back.
Books by Pastor A.L. Fant. They are inspired by the Holy Spirit, simple to comprehend, relevant in application, and so lovely to read. Grab copies like Dynamics of Kingdom Influence, Dynamics of Ministry, Marcus King for Church Workers, money matters. And she calls herself a woman. This marriage must work. No more curses, loaded mouth, secrets of kingdom dominion, the exploits of service. Things fall apart. Church without bleeding pulpit, singles mingle, and many more.
So it's important that we all understand that working together can help us. One of the mistakes we make as young people is always want to do things on our own. I want to be the person out there. Yesterday I was having a discussion with someone after church, and I was like, I wish I had the choice to probably not do some of the things I'm doing. I wish I could live a normal life, like no one knows me. Because I went somewhere, I wanted to hide. And somebody saw me, I was eating my fufu with my friend, big meal. It's like, I know you. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't hide. That is some of the things that unfortunately we find ourselves in. You can't even misbehave, quote and unquote, even though we don't want to misbehave. But we need to be very conscious of our lives. We need to be very conscious of everything that we do. If you've watched my episode on Thoughts from Matter Inspires, I spoke about don't dent your reputation. It's on our YouTube channel, Matter Inspires. Go and watch it. And I spoke a lot about how to work on yourself. In my book, Inspiration for Purpose, chapter 2, I talk about working on yourself. In the next 10 to 15 years, 20 years, what will be said about your name? Like, what are you doing now? That are you going to be the girl they said? There's a story I saw on Facebook, and a girl said that she's trying to tell her boyfriend she's had 18 abortions. Yes. And she's like, okay, she'll tell the guy one, but what if the guy finds out there are 18
She told him
abortions?
she had just one.
Yes. So she's struggling on how to do that. So in the next few years, what will be said about it? When I want to become the president of Ghana, I need to have a good reputation so that you can vote for me. Anyways, let's get back to this discussion. As young people, are these services available in your organization? What do you think are some of the reasons why we are not even able to come and access those services? Why it's like sex is the only thing on our mind. You even go on some website just to go and see something, and there's a naked woman there. They even advertises water. Sometimes they're even advertising water or pomade, and they'll bring a naked woman. They even advertise. It's like now anything they're advertising, a naked woman has to be attached to it. What is happening to us? Yeah.
I feel like society has given a lot of attention to nudity that has made everyone want to put these things on their pages just to gain the traffic. Yes. So I feel like we should try not to make these the core of our marketing. We should find the main content, to find the important things of the product that will attract people to watch the adverts or to purchase the product. But using utility and social related content to advertise our product is not the right way.
Okay.
It's just like a short-term process. It's not going to help us in the long run.
Now, why don't we want to use contraceptives? Have you heard some stories why we don't want to use contraceptives?
I feel like right now a lot of people in this, maybe some days ago this was the issue, but right now I feel almost contraceptions is available to everyone.
Yeah.
To everyone in the urban areas.
Okay.
Yeah, people in the rural areas have issues about them. Any pharmacy you walk into right now, you're going to find contraceptions. It's just left on to you to decide, do I want to use it? Why do I want to use it? Which of them do I think? And I feel like some people don't want to use it because of side effects. So I'll advise that when you want to go into contraceptives, or when you become sexually active and you want to start using contraceptives, you should seek a lot of medical attention. You should go to a practitioner who knows about this to look at your system and tell you this is what is good for you and this is what comes with it. Because at the end of the day, all contraceptives has its own side effects, but it's just left on to you to choose which one will suit you. Yes.
Aisha, why don't we want to use contraceptives?
So I will first answer your question, which you asked that are these services available and how do young people access it before come to the contraception? For me, I think the services are available. It's not that I think the services are available, especially that now we have some non-governmental organizations who are also doing a lot in regard to reproductive health. But then you talk to these young people and they are waiting to get the side effects or whatever issue it is before they come and access the service. If not for availability, now the service is available. They've taken myself as the client activation officer for my school. I do more of the advocacy than I even do for the marketing. Each time you see me running up and down just to see that I mobilize people and talk to them that this service is here or this is what you need to do. Like you said earlier, abstain. But if you can't abstain, these are the methods available you can what exploit so that you don't fall victim to maybe unwanted pregnancy or any sexually transmitted infection and others. And coming back to contraception, people have a lot of misconception and myths about contraception, and that is why they don't want to access it. But the challenge is that humans naturally are in a way that once they say they want something, you can't change their mind about it. So some of the side effects, some will say, when I do family planning, for example, I can't bleed, or my bleeding is short term, long term, and all that. Which organization did you go to? Which hospital did you go to? Because before any family planning, you need to go through counseling. Like from Marisol, for instance, they give you all the choice. That's why we say we give you the options and you make the choice. So the options are that we have IUD, we have implant, we have this, we have that. And then we tell you, do this test for us to be able to show that this is okay for you to go back. So definitely when you go to professionals, you get the right thing done. And even when you have challenges, there's always a way it can be corrected. And remember, even the food we eat have side effects. Though it's good for our body, we need those nutrients and all that. But on the other way around, it has side effects. No family planning method or no contraception method is 100%. But then they are saying that it has 99%, okay, effect on you. Then another thing I want to say is that, so for instance, Aisha went for implanting. Martha is Aisha's friend. And Aisha told Martha, oh, Martha, I did this family planning method. Maybe I did the injection one. Listen to me. If Martha is going for family planning, trust me or not, Martha is going for the injection. Even if Martha gets to the hospital and they say, Martha, the injection will not be okay for you. You go for the implant or the one they put on the arm. That will help you. Martha will say, lie. They will inject Martha 2-3 days and Martha becomes fat and says, Aisha did it and was not fat. I did it and I'm fat. When they cancel, they didn't take the advice they gave you.
And some
They are
actually do
some,
it
yes,
intentionally to grow fat.
yes.
Really?
Especially
I've not heard
for
this
the
one.
Some for bats.
Wow.
One evening I was just waiting from work, hurrying up to get home and do my TikTok things. Then this lady was coming, Madam, ain't you not gonna share? I know that Madam, there's something on the carbon and I'm like, ah. So what's if you want family plan, you have to go to the facility. They'll guide you which one to do. But here, we don't do the ones that make your back
Because
big
they
and all that.
enhanced
I said,
it.
oh, it was that one she was coming for to impress who? My sister.
Her boyfriend, man.
Is it that
And
much?
then
There's
some of
a lot
us here,
that
we don't have the body, we don't have the back, we don't have anything. We're just there, just managing
somebody
like that.
said,
Oh.
we are taking personality. We don't have it, but we are
I know,
taking
right? Few days ago, I was having lunch with a friend, and someone came and was like, it's not you on reflection. I said yes. I was like, okay. Then the person was now asking my friend, hi, why is that your big friend with the big bra? I said, so me didn't see me. You don't remember me about anything or what? Because people will always see the big body and like so girls are
They make it
forced
a big
to
deal.
necessarily going to, oh my goodness, if I get that money, maybe I'll do to that just to go and do it.
Yeah,
Yes.
but people do. They don't care. And we fall victim. Young people actually fall victim to this. I don't think someone like my mother or maybe my elder sister will aim for any of this.
Yeah.
Stuff. It's just us. And social media is
And we think that that's what
attracts
attracts the guys. And seriously, I don't think that's what attracts the guys.
some.
Oh,
Some.
Okay, the
And
guys
some
also
will even
say
just want
that's
to
what
use it.
attract them, but in
they are lying, but don't
yeah.
marry. Don't
Exactly.
marry a woman. It's just for fun
They wouldn't marry you for their body.
because they know that they would have to pay to get their back.
Exactly.
They'll have to pay to get their back to repair and and those things. So right now, what are your final words on this topic? So that challenges we have faced, what we should put in about what the structure should do, and all of that.
This has been like a wonderful conversation with Martha Spice and the reflection sector. What I just want to say is sexual and reproductive health and rights is not all about sexual activity. It has to do with something to do with it but it's not all about it. It has to do with the lifestyle of the youth. It has to do with what they do now that will have like the effects it will have on them in the future. And also what I would like to say is, as much as the communities and our families and the schools and teachers and everyone is trying to support us, the security services, we need them here. We need them to play their
Ghana
part.
police.
Because at the end of the day right now, everything is associated with politics, everything is associated with chieftaincy. So I feel like this is something we need to do away with. We need to come into reality, and everyone should play their part in this journey. And at the end of the day, it's going to be a successful journey for all of us.
Everyone should play their part, and at the end of the day, it will be successful. Aisha.
So first, I would like to say that what you don't know is in what you don't know.
Hey.
Yes. So what it means is that what you don't know, there's definitely something there. And so what it means is that ask questions.
More, yeah.
You need to ask questions. Communication, parents, everybody, once you have a word, whether direct, biological or not, please communicate, educate. These young people need those information, especially when it comes to our reproductive health. So I would say that as young people, they always say we are the future leaders, and we only become the future leaders when we aspire to inspire before we expire. What name are you going with? When you are not there, what are people going to say about you? Let's consider some of these things. And I'll say that anytime I try doing something bad, then I remember that there's someone who looks up to me, then it motivates me. So let's all try, in as much as possible, to see that these things are necessary. Don't be ignorant about anything. Learn. Even if you don't know it, just learn. You don't know when an opportunity will come that you need to explore what you've learned. So ask questions, because what you don't know is in what you don't know. Thank you.
What you don't know is in what you don't know. Charlie, I've learned something today, but on Friday when I go to my schools with my girls, I will tell them what you don't know is what is in what. Hey, it's in what you don't know. It's been an amazing discussion. I think that I'm learning some. It's like every time I learn some new things. When I go and I'm still like it's like today matter is wise. Who needs a reflection show that was here? Oh my goodness. We face a lot of challenges. We've seen a lot of things that has happened, that is happening, and that will happen. We just need to be able to minimize them and stop them if possible. NOSAC have been going on a project, Informed Choice for Change project, and they are making sure that every young person have the ability or the strength to talk as much as possible about reproductive health issues. So wherever you are, just look for NOSAC on social media. Get in touch with their Tamale branch offices, office, Accra, and even other offices all over Ghana. Just get in touch with them and they'll be able to help you. Marriage Stones have a helpline. You can always get in touch with them as well. But the Informed Choice for Change project is the one always giving us the resource, the human resource coming to give us the education and the information, because at the end of the day, we need to present to you the quality kind of information. And thank you very much, NOSAC, for supporting us with so much knowledge, technical support, and information that we are using to reach out to our young people. Thank you very much for powering us all the time with great content for young people. My hair and makeup is by Indem's Beauty Salon here in Tamale. You can get their contact details on the screen. We are recording here at the King David Sport here in Tamale as well. Their contact is on the screen. Where you have a party and outing, just get in touch with King David for all your services. We are still calling on partners and sponsors for the Reflection Show. Please get in touch on 054 9578 512 054 9578 512. You can also send in your questions on any of our episodes that we've had on same number. I believe it will be projected on your screen for you to get in touch with us. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Martha Anabila. Do have a good night. Hello and welcome to today's episode on Thoughts from Martha Inspires. I am Martha Anabila. Today I want to talk to you about what I have captioned, pain is a qualifier. There are lots of times we are like, I'm not qualified for this, I'm not qualified for that. But I have come to understand that sometimes pain is a qualifier. Let me take you back to the Bible about the story of Joseph. He was qualified to be the prime minister of Egypt because of what he had gone through. That is pain. A lot of times we get situations and we feel like, oh, I should have deserved this opportunity, but you haven't gone through that pain. So stop jealousing people and making it look like people have gotten some kind of favors or certain kinds of favor. It is pain, the issues they have gone through, that has qualified them to stand at those positions. There are people that didn't have money to go to school or etc., but they had certain breakthroughs because of their background. Their background is what qualified them. When we have missionaries coming to our communities to donate things, they donate to the poor, not the rich. What qualifies them is the poverty to receive certain kind of goodies and breakthrough, certain kinds of pain. Pain qualifies you to be a mother. Every mother who has given birth before understands that before you can have a child, you have to go through labor. You have to push. And it's the pain of pushing that makes you have a biological child. You cannot just lie down in your room and say that, oh, I'm a mother, so I have a kid, I have 2 kids, and no. Pain is a qualifier. So in every endeavor that you are taking to, understand that it is the pain that you have gone through, that you are going through, that qualified you to stand at where you are standing. The presidential candidates can say so. They go through the pain of campaigns, pain of convincing people before they win the elections. Students go through pain of learning, of studying, of paying fees, etc. before they can stand and get that opportunity. If you don't go through that pain, don't expect to have that privilege. Don't expect to have that favor, because even favor comes with pain, favor comes with conditions, favor comes with some requirements that you may not have, you may not deserve. So the next time you are jealousing that brother, that sister, ask yourself if you have gone through that pain they have gone through, if you have gone through that humiliation that they have gone through. We have stories even in the Bible and even in our society. We see people who have gone through pain, and at the end of the day, they have so much grace, they have so much opportunities. And it's not because the favor or the breakthrough fell up the sky. No, they struggle through the pain, they struggle through the issues, they struggle through before they can become that big woman and that big man that we see today, and we think that we are jealous of them. If you want to go through success, understand that the pain will come with it. I believe that you watching me today have learned something from this episode. And don't push the pain away when the pain is coming, because it is the pain that will qualify you for that favor, that breakthrough, and that success. Thank you for watching today's episode on Thoughts from Martha Inspires. I am Martha Anabila. See you next time.